A very, very warm, good afternoon here from Mallorca. Very, very good evening to everybody back in India. It's another Indian football discussion here on arunfoot on my platform. My name is Arunfoot Chaudhary. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And as always, if you like what you're hearing, what you're seeing, do leave a like, share it with others to join the conversations, and also if you think you want to follow more of what's happening on this channel in regard to videos and lives that I'm doing, do subscribe to the channel. 1,940 is the number that we are at the moment at, which means that we're 60 short of the 2,000 mark. So we're growing slowly but clearly. And yeah, thank you as always for the support, everybody. And then let's keep on working on growing the community, as well as also do watch the shorter videos which I do produce. After we've been talking about it over the last few days, actually decided earlier today to put a video together on the football video support system, or the FVS system, in regard to how it could work, how it would work. A simplified version, let's call it this way, of what is VAR, and something which hopefully can be used in football down the road, which will help football and its referees, especially with the system in which we can work on, and hopefully, as I say, this will help the system to reduce, as I say in the video, reduce the number of mistakes. So do watch that video as well. Again, as always, like, share, and support. So let's see what happens. Are you seeing East Bengal come back after this international break? Guardiola, it's a difficult one, because I think one thing which I realized with East Bengal, with the club officials, with the fans, they need to first of all get out of one thing, and this is like this agenda. If I feel it by now, it is an agenda to say, listen, we're blaming the referees, we are blaming our opponents, we're blaming the system, for our failures. And if East Bengal wants to focus on things which they should do better, I think they've done something already, which I think has helped them, and that's the appointment of Oscar Bruzon as their head coach. I think Oscar has already shown that he can get more out of the squad. They've reached the knockout stages of the AFC Challenge League. I think the second thing is to talk to the players and ensure that they understand how they should need to behave on the field. And Nandakumar Sekar, as an Indian national team player, cannot hit out at Amarjit Kiam the way he did. That's one, and that's a straight red, so there's no discussion on that. And Mahesh Naram also as a player who's, of course, personally struggling, but he's also an Indian international player, that he cannot behave the way he's done on the field. And then, of course, East Bengal officials and fans having a go and saying, oh, you know what, the referees are doing the mistakes. There is a conspiracy to not allow us to get into the top six. Sorry, guys. Doesn't add up for me, if you ask me, to be very honest. You have to be better yourselves. And East Bengal Club is a huge institution. It's a big institution. And I rather feel that these people are disrespecting that institution and not working towards trying to be better by trying to find faults. We've seen in the summer that East Bengal has signed and brought in a lot of players, but has anyone actually done the homework and checked, do these characters fit together? Does this team work? And by now, Carlos Cuadrado is gone, which on one side speaks about him as a coach, but on the other side speaks about the team, the character of the team. And for me, East Bengal, did plug a lot of holes, but still, the bench isn't there. And to me, I think the team does need more work to be able to get to the level where I feel we can see East Bengal play a role in the ISL, a competitive role in this ISL, to be able to get into potentially the top six. 1 point out of 7 matches, of course, speaks at the moment at least a different language. But if you ask me, football is a crazy sport. So therefore, for me, East Bengal still have the capabilities, the possibilities of getting into the top six. But again, for that to happen, they would now have to start at some stage a rally of winning 4 or 5 games in a row, and suddenly they would be back in the running for the top six. So if you ask me, is a comeback possible? Yeah, but I think Oscar Bruzon and the team, if they realize what the realities are, if Oscar Bruzon and the team realize what they need to do together to be able to challenge for a top six position, start winning games, that showed in the Challenge League. First a 2-2 draw against Paro FC. Let's be honest, that's an embarrassing result for any Indian club to draw a club from Bhutan. Then, of course, beating Bashundara, scoring that win against Nejme. Those 2 results, in my opinion, showed character. And then, of course, 9-man East Bengal holding Mohammedan Sporting, which asks more question about Mohammedan Sporting on the other side. But still, the mentality was there to be able to grind out a result with 9 men, with even opportunities, potentially even sneak a win in that game. Those are good signs, in my opinion. So let's see. Again, long explanation, Guardiola from my side, but I feel yes, it is possible. East Bengal has to do what is needed to be able to get a result, and in my opinion, let's wait and see if they can really do it. Hi, Icon Loan, welcome back to the channel. We've been speaking about teams in the ISL. We've been speaking about what's all happening in the AIFF, and what needs to be sort of done in and around the team, so therefore for me it's always a difficult one, because when we speak about things and where do we stand, it's a difficult one. I was reading a little earlier the article about that the AIFF conclave to interact with the state association, I'm not sure, because at some stage it's always sold as the first time 32 member associations from across India converge to discuss deliver upon diverse styles of head of Indian football in each state of India. It is not the first time. Again, why is this sort of sold as if so yeah, so therefore these to me these are PR stunts, let's be honest. It's a disturbing thing that the federation is doing, and to me I think the federation needs to get down to work and sort out things, rather than as we've discussed, do PR stunts left, right and center and not do the work. I think the AIFF has a lot of work on its hands to try and rebuild Indian football at a number of fronts. I think the appointments of national team coaches is a simple area where we can have a conversation, where I feel there's a lot to be desired, a lot to be asked. And on the other side, where do we stand? Where do we really stand? That's for me a big concern at the moment. And I'm not sure where Indian football on this date, on the 15th of November 2024, really stands. If you ask me, I wouldn't be able to give you a clear-cut answer, because I don't know. And I think that's the danger I think we have at the moment, where in Indian football, we are, be it at club level, be it at international level, be it ISL, be it I-League, wherever. I would rather talk about positive things, about things moving in the right direction. But to me, at the moment, we're quite a bit off at the moment. Should India go with 3 at the back against Malaysia? I am not a fan of a 3-man Indian backline, to be honest, because then the question is, if we add one more centre back, do we play with 1 man in the middle in regard to defensive midfield? Do we play with 2 men? Do I then take out an attacking player? Do I play 3-5-2, which means we play with a double striker? But or are we sort of playing maybe a 3-4-1-2 or something, or 3-4-2-1, for example, or a 3-4-3? What is the system? And I have learned over the years when I look at an Indian national football team that the team um, prefers to play a four-man backline. That gives them a certain level of surety. So therefore, yeah, I'm not sure what Manolo will do. He played three men at the back in the last game. So therefore, for me, it's an interesting question, but I don't think Manolo um, is himself might be sure about what he wants to play. I think he's still trying out things. He's trying to settle down on things. So therefore, let's wait and see what Manolo Marquez decides on that front. Hi, sir. Guess up. I am fine, Ashish. Hope you, so hope you're doing well as well. Um, when will be Mishra back? I think if I look at when he got injured in May, I would hope early next year. I've not heard anything from Mumbai City. I've not seen anything. I don't know if you guys have seen any footage or videos, if he's training on a football field already by himself. But I would think, should be 6 to 9 months should be the time that he's out. East Bengal since last year, Touran Cup runners-up, Super Cup champion, ACL quarterfinal ongoing, as it seems to be last missing piece of puzzle. No, it's not last missing piece of puzzle, you've listed all of these things which are not long leagues. They are more like competitions, like, Touran Cup is a, group phase come knockout competition. The Super Cup was the same. ACL is going to be the same as well. So this is a format which seems to be, to the liking of East Bengal FC and its teams at the moment, that they like that format. And the ISL is a long league. Last season, 22 matches. This season, 24 matches. Before that, 18 matches. East Bengal has suffered in the ISL for some reason or the other. And so for me, East Bengal need to prove that they can sustain themselves in a long-running league. Malaysia आज जीत गया. Ashish, they won yesterday, beat Laos 3-1. So yeah, they won yesterday. What do you think about Shrachi's new app? Do you think Shrachi will end like Baiju's? Balash, I have no clue in regard to the financials in regard to Baiju's. I've just read about it, so therefore I can't make a comparison on that. And Shrachi's app, again, I can't comment on it. There are a lot of people are saying that, so let's see. Hi, XYZ. Today, Euronews is covering the journey of how Indonesia could qualify for the World Cup. Also, there was Dutch commentary on today's Indonesia-Japan match. Yeah, I mean, there is quite a bit of interest. There's quite a bit of hype around Indonesia. Let's be honest about it. It is. People speak about it, and I think, especially in the Netherlands, people are speaking about it. But at the end of the day, one has to be honest enough that, Indonesia still has some way to go, huh? Carlos Corral is better at knockout matches. Babalu's animation seems like it, and I think will be interesting to see if Oscar Buzon can actually do better in this season of the ISL. He's given a tough task, 6 losses at the start. He has 18 matches to go. Let's see what he can do. Surprisingly, Indonesia got opened up today, sitting back against Japan. Japanese cost them playing full Argentine team, yet they weren't able to hold Japan. Yes, they created chances, but still couldn't finish. See, the one advantage Japan has. Japan is a settled system, as a settled format. Even Japan is playing origin players, right? So therefore, just to say that, oh wow, it's only Indonesia or Southeast Asian countries are doing it doesn't work. I mean, Zion Suzuki, for example, the goalkeeper for Japan who plays is an American Japanese, right? So he's playing. So again, but again, Japan has got a lot of these players are playing in Europe for big teams. Wataru Endo plays for Liverpool, Mitoma at Brighton, Minamino at Monaco, Ritsudoan plays at Freiburg, Kamada plays in Italy, Machida in Celtic. So if I look at it, that's a top class team, right? And most of these Indonesian origin guys are either sort of fringe players for their teams, for their clubs, or are playing. Some of them even moved to Indonesia, right? So yeah, Japan in that way is one of the best teams in Asia. Period. What do you think in future? If we bring origin players looking at Indonesian China, we might get opened like them, and that effect won't be there. I don't think we have better players than Indonesia. I think to compare ourselves to Indonesia, first of all, is a problem. I think our national team in Indonesia, again, I have to look at the reality of where India stands at this moment. And that's, I think, my biggest problem, right? If we're having that discussion, I think that players of origin will improve us, and that's my concern. And how far they can go, that has to be seen. You know, we can't make that judgment. We can't make that, analysis at this moment. I don't understand why people are upset. I-League broadcasting, they are not for charity. 100 rupees for the whole season is dirt cheap. Akash, again, I think we've had this discussion a few times now on this channel, that people would like to have everything for free. People are telling me, oh, you know what, I cannot pay 700, 800 rupees for a fan shirt. I'm not willing to pay 2,000 rupees for a jersey. What's then the commitment of the fans? To watch everything for free and make them comments on social media? That's the support that fans are going to make towards Indian football. Then Indian football will not progress, right? So the thing is, for everybody, spending 100 rupees for the whole season, it's a gift, it's a steal. People are unwilling to pay 25 rupees on fan code to watch an India game. These are realities, right? So therefore, for me, these are the challenges that we have, and we have to look at how we overcome them. But for people to go out there and say, oh, I'm not going to willing to pay this, I'm not going to willing to pay for that, I'd rather have this for free, I'll have rather that for free, it's part of the problem. It's not giving us a solution, or it's not giving us answers to our problems. Yeah, and that is for me the most worrying thing in all of these discussions, that we're not getting anywhere if we don't find solutions where we are able to generate revenues for the broadcaster and for the clubs, right? And the general revenue generation for broadcasters comes if broadcasters see, listen, you know what, I'm able to raise money either via paid subscriptions, or in show ads, the numbers, that's the reality, and that's something which I think fans need to understand. And again, it's the fans, if they want to play their part, they have to put in the money. Everybody, whatever you can, and that's something, which is a challenge in itself. So let's wait and see where we will be next year with this. All right, more than 19 minutes. Thanks as always, guys, for joining in for this live Indian football discussion. Trying to do it daily at the moment in Mallorca, still taking time out of my schedule. So hopefully you're liking what you're hearing, what you're seeing. So therefore, if you think it's worth it, please leave a like, share it with others as well. 6 likes so far. Thanks a lot. And at this moment, we stand at 1,940 subscribers, between 60 to go for the channel to hit the 2,000 mark. So thanks a lot once again, guys, for your support as always. Do you think Northeast can retain Anjarai next season? I feel like if he scores 25 plus goals, Imon Super Giant won't be able to afford him. Babalu's animation, let's see. I would think that Northeast United would already try and speak to the player and try and finalize something. And then we'll see if he first of all, we don't know if at the end of the season he might say, you know what, I was very happy, thanks for letting me score that many goals, but I want to go back to, let's say, to Morocco, or maybe to Africa, maybe even try in a smaller league in Europe. That might happen. Or yeah, one of the bigger teams comes around and offers him a ridiculous contract, um, or he stays. So I think Northeast United will try their best, and then we'll see what happens. Akash says many people are commenting on this that if ISIS is free, then why not I-League? People needs to understand ISIS has so many sponsors and brands backing. If Shrachi can generate some money, that will be good. Yeah, Akash, to some extent, but ISL doesn't have so many sponsors, but it has Reliance backing. Yeah, it's true. And Reliance is actually doing Indian football a favor, putting it out on Geo, right? Let's be honest about that. Geo Cinema showcasing the ISL is a favor to Indian football because we get a mileage out of it, which I think ISL football would never get. Let's be honest about it. So therefore, to me, that is something. And if we want to grow the I League, I mean, if that's the mission, that's the statement that we want to make, then something needs to happen, right? For that to happen, people need to be able to make money on it, right? Be it Sony, be it if Shrachi is now going to be the official broadcaster, Um, Again, to me, let's see what happens. Brazil versus Venezuela is why I watch South American qualifiers. The pitch showers activating at the dire moments when Brazil was having moment of Venezuela equalized is classic shithousery. XYZ. Honestly, I look at the results from South America, but I'd never um, never actually watch South America. Maybe some highlights here and there, but actually, again, if you know, try to watch a little bit of Indian football here and there, and a little bit of football here in Europe. So for South American football, rarely got time. Never heard of Shrachi, who are the media company people saying they're very much committed to Indian football. XYZ, they're not a media company, they're actually into reality business. Are they committed to Indian football? I'm not sure of saying that. Yeah. No, they're not a media company. They're trying to do stuff in the media eco space. So let's wait and see. So that's not their area. They've now they've been commercial partners of the IFA. Their owner is on vice president for East Bengal, or is, I'm not sure. Different people tell me different things. And they've picked up a stake in Mohammedan Sporting. We're looking to actually originally buy a stake in an I-League team or even buy out an I-League team. Rajasthan United supposedly was their main target, which in the end didn't work out. Supposedly also they spoke to Churchill and some other teams. And now they've come forward to become commercial broadcast partners of the AIFF. I'm not sure how that does work, because my antennas come out and I think, conflicts of interest here, there, and everywhere. So therefore, not sure if it works. So let's see. If are they committed? Do they have the deep pockets? That's another question that those who know in the know have. So therefore, let's wait and see what Shrachi or Shrachi Sports or Shrachi Media, whatever it is, can do. If they can do something great, if they can't, the questions will be asked. So those are that's the reality of things. ISL top six predictions are still early, in my opinion. It's a very mixed season. I think mostly the usual suspects will go through. Mohun Bagan, Mumbai City, I think will be there. Yeah. And then we'll see. BFC most probably will make it Northeast look good at the moment, and then the rest we'll see who can sort of sneak in. But in general, yeah, let's wait a little bit more. India versus Malaysia, your predictions. For me, my prediction is very simple. I'm not going to give you a result prediction. I've got two sides to look at it. My head is saying it's going to be a very tough one for India, given the circumstances of where we are at the moment. So I think it's going to be a tough game. But on the other side, that's the situation as it stands at the moment and where we are, and it's not getting better at all. The problem is with something like that is that you have to predict, and prediction is something which makes it very, very difficult. On the other side, to me, this is something, could lose, but I would hope we win. Yeah. Do you have anything to say about Qatar versus Uzbekistan match? I see a pattern every single Qatar match is doing. I know you will not accept this concern. Akash, again, I've not seen all of their matches. I see them once in a while. I don't know. I think Uzbekistan is not an easy team to face at the moment. I would say that they are. We've seen them in Jan in the Asian Cup against us, and generally in the tournament. I think Uzbekistan look like a team that can go to the World Cup this time around. So therefore, even for Qatar, not easy. It's a tricky situation in that group. Russia's cooking Brunei 4-0 in just 35 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what they can do. I'm not following that game. Are you angry with me? You skip my questions. No, Kishore, I don't try to not skip anyone's questions, Kishore. But because I'm not seeing any questions here from your side. So if you've asked me anything, if I haven't seen it, sorry. I've had this now from few of you who ask me once in a while, are you not seeing my questions? I can only read out the questions and then answer them if I see them here in my chat line, right? And I've not seen it. So yeah. So therefore, Kishore, I'm not angry with you. Please place your questions here. Malaysia have Argentinian players. Yeah, Sarath, they have players who played, of course, in the Malaysian Super League. When VR will be used in India, how do you expect the development of referees to happen in India? Roshan, difficult question because if you ask me, my gut feeling is it'll take more time. And the question is it going to be VR? Because there's a lot of questions about it at the moment that I hear, that I see. If I see, but that's why I've done a video today. If you haven't, have a look, guys, on the options of football video support, right? Which is FVS, which seems to become a potential option of a replacement of VR. So therefore, that might be an option. Have a look at that video. We'll try to explain it as simple as possible. And development of referees is just that they're working on it in regard to, that the referees become fitter, become fast, and they work in classes. They look at their mistakes on video reviews, and the referees try to rectify them, whatever they're doing and not doing, right? So those are the challenges I feel that you need to try and work on a regular basis. And a lot of these things are, not short-term projects. You will not get a referee who's not that good to suddenly become a much better referee than he was, let's say, a month back, right? You can work on those things, but I don't know. I think it's a question of working on the next generation of people and trying to explain to them, work on them, on those things, and take it to the next level. Very, very simply, right? That's something which is not working. You have to think hard on what you're doing, and that's something which I do believe that overall refereeing has improved, but it is not to the mark that it needs to be able to avoid the mistakes, right? So therefore, that's a challenge that I see. As such, very, in short, Roshan, that to me is the answer to your question. Is VR use, I don't see it in the short term, except if people commit to put in money into it. 40-50 crores, can FVS be an option? I think that could be maybe an answer, because I think FIFA is working on a cheaper alternative to VR and football video support. Yeah, looks to me a more likely option. So I'm not sure. Let's see, wait and see what happens. India's only team not playing with OCI players. Yeah, Sarath. I wouldn't know any other teams in other parts of the world who are not using players of origin if they have the options to do that. How will VR can improve regular decisions in referees can not even give regular decisions like an ISF? Akash, the question is, how do we train our referees? Right, that's the first question. How do we train our referees to the next level? The referees are an integral part of the decision making in the sport, and at the moment it's a bit of an issue, in my opinion, if you look at it. because the referees need to be better, and they're not to the level that I think good would need to be. Yeah, and it's who is going to be the VR referees, right? It's going to be the same referees or older referees who become VR referees. So, there's a lot of work to be done. Any opinion on the Shrachi I-League deal? Is it good for Indian football, or will it block more audience from watching the I-League since it's a new app and also behind paywall? Mazel, there are two thoughts to this. On one side, the federation needs to work on things. And if there is someone who wants to come forward and try and help you support it, it's a new app, yes, I agree, and it's behind a paywall, that's an issue. But the question is also that Indian football fans need to ask themselves if they're going to be able to pay or not, willing to pay or not able and willing, right? We need to see how they build on that. That's, I think, a big question mark in my opinion. And Sony to me is a good one, but I'm not sure if Sony in combination with Shrachi is the best option that you had. But again, it's a question of if it's going to be able to do it. Let's see where it goes. AIFF is destroying Indian football. Sharath, I think they're not eating it. Let me put it this way, because there are other players, So, yeah, it's too easy just to put the blame on them. I think the whole system needs to ask itself. We found referees in ISL. Said nice thought. We had it in the past. Even I helped on that front in the past. We had a Bundesliga ref a few years ago in the ISL for 3 matches. Not happening, right? We need to develop our own. Upcoming Malaysia match is revenge games for national team, and whether Malaysia would be hard nut to crack. First of all, it's not a revenge game. I think last year we were unlucky, but if we're honest enough, then we'll say that Malaysia deserved to win that game also. And they'll be very hard not to crack, Kishore. They have the potential. Let's see if we can make home advantage work, if we can get the things done in the way we want it. But that's the challenge at the moment, I think, with this team. If they can get it somewhere, that is something that we need to try and figure out what is happening or not. Roshan says, I agree. There's no sponsor for youth leagues or ISL teams creating women's team, but money VR should come. I'm skeptic Premier League or Bundesliga find easy sponsor for VR related things. I don't think they get it easily, but they're able to fund it, right? Because they have money coming in and going out. That's, I think, the commercial side of things in Indian football is always a question. And it's, in my opinion, it's not working. So that's the thing. And yeah, it's too much of a cost for clubs to agree. So before introduction of VR, referees need to be trained for regular decisions. Otherwise, it would be a wastage of money. I don't think so, because VR is on top of that. I think it would improve the referees also, because there are certain mistakes which could be cut down. And I think that would help, but again, I think that will shift the discussion, because VR is going to make mistakes as well. So, or maybe miss a situation. Fans like me are more than happy to pay if the revenue is shared with clubs, which I don't think will be the case. Mazel, for revenue to be shared with the clubs, the broadcaster, first of all, needs to recover their costs, right? So, and that's a very easy thing. People have said, even Reliance has said, we are at the moment paying 50 crores to AIFF. If we make more money, then, we cover the 50 crores first, and then we pay you out even more. That's very simple, but that's not happened, right? So therefore, these are the things which at the end of the day, I see as very, very problematic, that they've not been happening. And yeah, that's the challenge. Fans can pay 100 rupees for the whole season, but aren't willing to pay. Well said. Yeah, Akash, that's, yeah. Anupamas, why are younger talents can't play? Siam quality of top Asian clubs, especially the 17 level, despite having so many academies. Having academies doesn't mean you're going to be good, right? The challenge is to be better, right? So at the moment, I think we're not getting anywhere with 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 where we stand at the moment, right? We are struggling with the basics. Have been for a while, if one is honest about it. Um, how can we improve? Um, I don't know, but we're at the under 17 level. We're not where we need to be. Uh, do you watch UFC? RS? No, I don't. You have any hope on seeing signature of Manolo from the Malaysia game onwards? Yes. Um, but is that going to be enough? We saw a little bit against Vietnam. Malaysia is the next step. It's going to be a question of what can you do, but not sure about it. So therefore, for me, it will be very interesting what Manolo is able to instill in his team, and what also works. I'm Renmoy. Your start 11 as striker position against Malaysia. Kishore, I'm not sure what he's going to play from a system-wise. If you ask me, I said in the last few days, 4-4-2 would be my preference. Is the coach going to do that? I don't know. He might play 4-2-3-1. Might he play a 3-man backline? If you ask me, my preferred 11 would be Gurpreet at the back, Roshan and Akash Sangwan as our wingbacks. Sandesh and Dalbik as the centre backs, Apuya, Suresh in the middle, and in front of that, Changte, Farooq Chaudhary, and Jitan MS. And then, the question is if Farooq Chaudhary plays or Manveer out, and you put in Brandon and push Farooq Chaudhary up. That might be a discussion. The Northeast states are in two groups in Santosh Trophy. You think it's good or bad? They do a draw. I don't know if it's good or bad. I'm not too much following that. So yeah, let's wait and see how it plays out. Do you think FSL will slowly give away all the leagues and national team back to everyone, only keep ISL? Mazil, that's I think the trial that's happening at the moment. The question is if the AIFF is going to be able to generate more money themselves, because that's the challenge that I think they have at the moment. Because at the end of the day, they get 50 crores without questions being asked. If they can't raise 50 crores in a combination of the rights for the ISL plus themselves raising money from the others, that's a commercial loss in a way that it's not working. These are the numbers that you have to keep in mind. At least 50, and again 50. Yeah, let's wait and see. 90th stoppage is just reporter Nick's that Sony deal is not finalized. Doordarshan also in talk. Okay, that's I think now starting because the tricky situation in regard to Shrachi coming into play. Maybe they are not happy of having such an entity in this game. Would be my logic. I don't know if it's right, but that would be my thinking. So let's wait and see what happens. Do our clubs losing same amount of money like the initial years in ISL? Anupam, I think some are losing less money, but a lot are losing more money than in the initial years at the moment. Hey, that night, will Manolo step down as Goa coach after the season, or he will continue as if he leaves any name in discussion for Goa coach? Also, if he leaves any name in discussion for Goa coach, Manolo is going to step down at the end of the season. That's done. So that's not a question. So that's a sorted thing. He'll take over the national team coach for another 2 years. And FC Goa, I think, already are in the hunt for a new replacement, but they've not announced anything so far. So therefore, that's the status of things at the moment in regard to FC Goa and Manolo Marquez international team. Sony Broadcasting I League, your opinion. Blue, if they do that, great. The question is, as Akash just mentioned, the Sony deal is not sort of finalized, and therefore, that's one of the big problems. With Shrachi coming in with its streaming platform, maybe Sony might not be interested now. Kalyan Chobe did some meeting with State FAs a few days ago. Is it a good sign or is another tea party? Can fans hope for better days, or we should just give up? And you should not never give up. That's the first thing. If something's going to come out of those meetings, I don't know. I find it weird that I was reading that they said that this is the first time that something like this has ever happened, as if the AIFF never met the state association. Again, they always say that they did first things which was not done in the past, and which is a problem. Yeah. So I don't know, Joe. Shrachi will pay a certain amount to AIFF for the broadcasting, right? I don't know what the deal would be, but I would expect the broadcasting / marketing would be the price. I'm not sure if pure broadcasting is going to give them some money. SSN is actually sorry, I didn't know that. Okay. Then my whole reading of this. Okay, then it says then Shrachi's deal is not fun. Doordarshan also talks. Okay, that would be interesting, but that would explain a lot of things that are happening, right? They launched the website. Okay. Yeah, interesting to see, because Sony is in the background. Sony Entertainment Networks. That's why Sony Entertainment Networks for me is SEN. Yeah, I'm not sure where we stand on this. Very, very complex, I would say. Very unclear where we are with that at the moment. So therefore, yeah. So that's where we stand. Yeah. Is Edward in South so much more or less compared to North part? Difficult to generalize, but we've had age fraud in the north, in the south, in the east, in the west, and the northeast. So I don't know what the numbers would be. Or someone would have to do a real study. Yeah. Your promotion contender for the season: Inter Kashi, Gokulam Kerala, Sri Deccan. I feel AIFF did a lot of good job or in right tracks on certain things. Not perfect goals are getting a lot backlash because of lack of performance of national teams. Okay. Anupam, what did they do right, in your opinion? Let me know that, and then we can discuss. Do you think kids should be given a small ball when they are 3 years old? Yeah. There are smaller balls, right? You're not supposed to play with a size 5. You can play with a size 4, a size 3, even a smaller one, which is size 2, which actually doesn't exist, but it could be some other ball from another sport. Yeah, you should be, and like being on the ball of course, every kid should have a ball to themselves at the younger ages, right? That's what we want. That's what we need. It's not like, in the past I've seen academies where you had like 3 or 5 balls for 20, 25 kids. Yeah, you have to have, if you've got 20 kids, you have to have 20 balls. If you've got 25, you need 25 at least. Even though when I have 20, you should have actually 30, because some of them might get damaged, destroyed. You might lose them. So that's what we need. Who do you want in the upcoming qualifiers group? The pods will decide in December. What's the easiest group we can get? Do you think we will bottle it since top teams only qualify? I don't know what the groups will be. So therefore, let's wait and see. We know who the 24 teams are going to be, but I don't know which team will be in which pot. Yeah. So let's see. Can Rio Kashmir make a dream run with Ishaq for second season? They came very close with the weakest squad last season too. Mazil, they had an advantage at the start. They were playing a lot of matches at home in winter conditions in Kashmir. So I don't know. Let's wait and see what Ishaq can do. Thanks, Shogaz. Doing fine. Hope you too. Who would be your best coach for national team till now? To ask me that way, it has to be Bob Houghton. I was always impressed by him. But Shrachi already showing I-League fixtures and released the price also second for all tournaments, one season, CFL, Santosh Trophy, IW, etc. For one tournament, 100 rupees, and for one match, 20 rupees. Okay. Blue, let's wait and see. I'm not sure what is happening on that front, but there must be, What's your predicted formation for 18th after squad changes? Again, I've said what I think would be my preferred squad, 11. But it's up to Manolo to decide who is going to take or not take, and that in itself again is a raises a lot of question, or will raise a lot of question marks. He is he has is he going to go for a 4-2-1? Is he going to go for a 3-4-3, 3-4-2-1, 3-4-1-2? I'm not sure. So therefore, that's one of the questions that he will have to ask. Yanda said he had a ball always in his backyard compared to India. 10 kids have one ball. Yeah, even I had when I was a kid and played in my backyard. I used to have a ball here in Germany. So that's a normal thing. I guess DD Sports is only for TV rights. Yeah, for TV rights potentially again, and that would mean that Sony no longer is in the picture, which I would think is a big drawback. But did you hear the news of the Indian Army destroying the stall and some banners of Mohun Bagan 2 years back? It happened to East Bengal for Shrachi. Your take on this? Blue, it's on one side, I'm a football person, so if anything football related gets damaged, it is not good. But the question, which was the same question 2 years ago on East Bengal, is why did the army do it? Which means that you didn't get the okay or get the license from the army to use it on the Maidans, right? So, or maybe commercial activities as such, a lot of questions that can be asked, should be asked, need to be asked, but there's no clarity on it. That's, I think, the biggest problem at the moment. So it's not good to see, in my opinion, but it has happened. Do you feel our grassroots level is better now compared to 10 years ago? Anupam, 10 years ago, we didn't have much grassroots. So from that perspective, yes. But are we producing quality? That's the thing that I mean. Also, no. So without grassroots, we actually seem to produce better players than we are now with grassroots. That should be our concern. Indian football wants to prefer foreign good coaches at youth level. Yeah. If Indian football wants to prefer foreign good coaches at youth level, 100% Bobby. The question is who's going to pay for it, right? That's going to pay for it. And where's the quality? What is the systems? Who are we getting? Those are all questions. Toiba Singh is given chance for from Odisha FC when there was Putea. Is Putea not having better season than Toiba? Showcast, it's not a question of who's having a better season or not. It's a question of who the coach wants, how the coach sees the player. And if I see it now, the coach seemed to have preferred Thoiba, and it came surprise to me, let's be honest. I spoke about it a few days ago in a separate instance video. But yeah, I don't know. And again, that's a question for Manolo for the pre-match press conference. But again, let's see. Land was dirt cheap 25, 30 years ago. Had this club long-term plan, they would have bought land to build training facilities and stadium, but didn't. They're wasting money to fight each other. Yeah, gosh, that's what I say. That's what I mean, and that is one of the biggest challenges for these teams, right? Yeah. Um, there were options, right, to build. I think one of them got a land option on the Eastern Bypass, somewhere around Shantushpur, New Godia, and the other one in Newtown, or two other teams in Newtown, and now the clubs wanted it, did it. So yeah, that's the reality. They don't care about development part. They talk about it, but also if you hear recently what their officials have said, it's a fight for titles at the senior level. Did Brandon really reject Norwegian team? Yes, Showcast, he did in the past. All three Kolkata clubs don't have any long-term vision, just fighting each other over footballers. Well said, Akash. Do you think Sony pulled out because AIFF didn't allow them to stream, rather contracted with Shrachi? Good question. Not sure about it, to be honest, if you ask me. Um, if you ask me, I'm surprised because it looked like Sony was a done deal, and then suddenly Shrachi came out of nowhere. Um, I'm not sure how it works, right? How does it work? How does it make a potential change? Right. Um, what kind of monies are involved, right? Because there's not going to be clarity on that, and that's part of the problem. Even now, they can purchase land on the edge of the city. They just don't care. Blue, can they really purchase land on the edge of the city? Because they could, at least for a training facility, but they will not be able to for a stadium because people will not come. Right? The opportunity to build it on the Eastern Bypass, to build it in the heart of Newtown was there, as Akash rightly said. That there were options. They could have done it in the late 90s, early 2000s, and there were conversations about it, but nothing has happened. Like cricket and football, so we need to create a four-team tournament: India, North, South, East, and West, with the best player of the country. Um, but money, Kandan, what would be the use of you know, such a tournament or such matches? For what? What's the idea behind it? I'm not getting that. Can you please state that, mention that? They don't want to spend money on land. Akash, they don't want to spend money. Um, as you say, they don't want to spend money on the long-term planning. And land is something, grassroots youth football development is a long-term proposition. It's a long-term thing that will cost a lot of money and will create a lot of problems for you, right? So these are the things, yeah, which I think are not easy to solve, easy to sort. Will Shrachi survive long run? Feels like a gimmick. Um, See, Shrachi's been around for a while. They are from the realty business, have come into sports in a big way over the last 18 months, I would say. And yeah, that's I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they stand on this. So therefore, difficult to actually make a judgment. I think Sony just wanted to broadcast but not produce, and after AIFF released the tender for production, Shrachi came in with a production plus streaming offer while leaving out television broadcasting. It was clear from the start that Sony would only broadcast. You know, production was a question because it was about covering costs, and I'm not sure what the tender is really low. So which means that the production is. I know a lot of people who produced I League and other competitions for the AIFF in Indian football, and for them it doesn't make sense. So I'm not clear where this whole thing is heading at the moment. I don't even if Mohun and East Bengal want Sporting get free land, they will not build anything. Yeah, again, Mamata Banerjee gave free land to the AIFF to build the National Center of Excellence in Rajahat. Right, I visited a few weeks ago. it's there, right? So something like that could have been done, but it's not been done, and that's the reality of our things around the federation at the moment, which in itself is a challenge. So therefore, yeah, let's see what happens. Let all Indian football fans stand together and give proposal to Indian government. They have to develop football at youth level seriously. Maybe fans can stand together. Should stand together actually, but you know, fans can have ideas, develop ideas, work on them, right? Um, but the challenge on this is how you can influence a decision-making process in regard to government and AIFF. AIFF does its own thing. They will say, we're doing this, we're doing that. The government is not funding much of football at the moment. Uh, um, so to me, I don't know. It's sounds nice, but I don't know what the impact would be. Let's be honest about that. Who's your best upcoming young player to watch out? I don't have one, Manikan. If I'm being very honest, not convinced about the talent at the moment. Each state should have a foreign coach for scouting and developing players' skill. Yeah, um, one coach. What kind of difference will it make? I don't know. Smaller states, it could. Um, yeah, um, yeah, but one coach will not make a difference in the long run. Santosh Trophy should be broadcast on AIFF YouTube and Facebook channels. They should be done to promote the sport. I think Santosh Trophy's priority. Yeah, they've done it in the past. They might do it in the future again. Before I say something wrong, they've done that. But is that a priority tournament, right? That is my question to me. And therefore, yeah. So therefore, that's a question that we should be thinking about. Will AFF ever build their own training facility? I think FIFA gave some grants for that. Did they ever use that money or just eat up a proper national training facility is necessary according to me? We have one in Kolkata. Mazel, we have the AFF Center of Excellence in Kolkata, in Newtown, in Rajhat. That facility exists. Two grounds, one grass, one artificial turf. It is there already. So, yeah. What about Kipgen? Manok, he has to prove that he gets into Punjab FC, into the first team on a regular basis. And he's not convinced me on that front. I think that's a challenge that he has to be able to convince not only me but other people as well that he has the capabilities of playing at the top level, and yeah, evolving, developing into a player who can play first team football on a regular basis. I think that's the challenge. U19 ISL, Manikandan, I don't think that is the aim. I think you need to. Ideally, I would like to see an under 13, under 15, under 17, under 19 youth leagues under the AIFF. And that does not exist. The under 19 one, the under 13, 15, 17 exist. They're not perfect. That's another problem. And on the other end, we have the Lance Foundation Development League. On top of that, as sort of, yeah, as a reserve league. So that would be my sort of combination factor of leagues. When they're building one in Delhi, no muzzle. There was talk about being one built across the road in Dwarka, where the AIFF have football house, but that was long time back, So that did not, so therefore that is something which doesn't exist. Why we don't have more friendly matches in other countries like cricket? Very simply because there are FIFA windows, which govern international friendly matches. And on that front, India plays in March, in June, September, October, November, these matches against opponents. Yeah, and we can't play cricket like that is done. You know, um, yeah, that's something which is Lungding looks promising. Yeah, potentially promising. Anupam um, has to do more on a regular basis. Your thoughts on Mohammad Secretary's quote on prioritizing winning trophies over youth development? Mm, Dipanshu, are you surprised? Is anyone surprised that he or could have been an official of the other two Kolkata Giants says what their priorities are? Youth development hasn't never been whatever they say. Even though they had, of course, the Mohun Bagan Sale Academy, East Bengal had the academy in house. Mohammedan has done something here and there, but youth development grassroots is not their priority. It exists because it has to exist as per the club licensing, but it's not a priority for the clubs to have these. And they pick up talent, be it picking up players from Northeast, picking up potential players from smaller teams in the system in Kolkata, other parts of India. That's how they operate, or buying out players out of contracts. The Kerala Blasters have become a big hunting ground for them on that. So that's a reality. The one in Newtown doesn't look like well maintained from outside. Yeah, why not? There's actually quite a bit of work still there, and it's not properly being utilized. So that's the problem of the AIFF Center of Excellence. AIFF prefers cup tournaments for away matches over dedicated friendlies because they can't arrange one. I don't think they prefer cup tournaments for away from, and they again, it depends on who invites us or who doesn't invite us, right? We are not a hot property that people are waiting to playing the Indian national team. That's I think the biggest problem. I think India would have liked to have played two matches in October and November, but we're not in a position to do that. Are you happy with the coach? What's your rating out of 10? Now, Manikandan Manalo has come in a very difficult situation, a very difficult scenario because he was pretty much left behind a broken team, a broken squad. He's tried to do his best to try and rectify basics. It's a challenge. It's not working for him in the sense of that, that he turned around things and say, hey, listen, the team's suddenly much, much better. That's not happening. But at the end of the day, one has to say, if you ask me, so far, it was probably a 6 or a 7, but I can only rate him really, once the qualifiers start in March, June, November, we can rate him on those. I feel the cup tournaments are risky because you never know when a team pulls out and you are left with only one game. Normally, it rarely happens around the world. But here in this case, of course, we were very unlucky that you had last year Palestine, this year Lebanon pulling out of two tournaments. So normally you would have two matches. So yeah, we've had that in the past. So that's something. 5 years later, you will not Bengali players even 30 men squad for national team. We don't have Bengali players at the moment in 26, 27 players who've been called up. And if the ones are called up, they're, would be older players, experienced players. We're not talking about young talent from Bengal breaking through, shining through, coming in and making a huge difference. Not seeing that. Bengali top 3 clubs were responsible for it. Yes, Anupam, very well said. It's a disturbing fact. It's a tricky fact as such, but it's not working for them, right? And it's working for them. It's not working for Indian football. Let's see what happens. We will see what can and will be done. Since there's only one game in the AFC qualifiers each window, will India play one other friendly or just one game per window for a year? Mazel, I not know what the scheduling is per se of these qualifiers, and I'm not sure how they're going to take it forward. Yeah, difficult to state, difficult to work on. I'm from Tamil Nadu, but we don't see any development and improvement in near future. Manikannan, um, yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge for you guys. It's a challenge for others as well across India, where the state association isn't proactive or the state association is in turmoil, as it has been in Tamil Nadu for a while. Um, one can only hope that things will change. I think that's the only thing that one can speak about at the moment, and yeah, that's something which is a reality. Over an hour and 5 minutes so far. If you're new, liking what you're hearing, what you're seeing, to leave a like behind, to leave a share behind. 14 likes so far, 1,941 subscribers. So there's 59 to go for the 2K. Yeah, do that, support, and as always, thank you. AIFF and our technical director for national team must see how North Korea is playing in third rounds. Imagine I'm watching almost Indian team playing so bad, we're always losing. And I think this comparison probably doesn't work, to me at least. North Korea has an own system, which I think can be compared with no one in the world. We have to find our own system and we need to prove. The FIFA World Cup qualifiers result took Indian football 5 years behind. No, I don't think so. Right. Therefore, um, uh, it's a disappointment because there was expectation, there was potential, and we failed. We failed badly, right? Losing to Afghanistan, drawing Afghanistan, pot four. That's what I'm saying. Always say, um, pots are a challenge, and therefore I hope we can do better in the future. They have one game per window each game, and 2 games only in October, according to AFC Wiki. As I said, I'm not sure how we're going to utilize them, but again, as said, that makes sense to say that we would play in March, in June, September, October, November, and then fit in 6 matches. Yeah, let's see how that factors in. Hope is the only hope. Yeah, Manikandan, that's what I say. I always love to say that if we lose hope, what is left, right? I think that's the biggest challenge that we have at the moment, right? We can talk about XYZ, but if we're unable to do the basics, right? Where are we going? What is happening? Where we're taking it, right? That's a challenge, and it's very complex, very complicated, very complex, and therefore, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. North Koreans play for their lives. Yeah, that's a reality, right? Very complex because we are unable to compare ourselves to them, right? It's very complicated to potentially look into how they do things, don't do things. I mean, the women's youth teams are world champions, right? They're even better than the men's. Yeah, so reality. But who wants to check and copy the North Korean model? I think nobody wants to, and that's the reality. What a few ways AIFF can generate more revenue. I hope for the federation to commercially be more successful. I think the partnership, either with Reliance, which you have, has to be enhanced. The reach of Indian football has to be better. The success of the national team is needed for things to move ahead in the right direction. And these things are not moving in the right direction, right? So that's so yeah, that's the reality. More people watching, more people interacting, sponsors showing interest, broadcasters showing interest to pay money for it. That's it. But it's a vicious circle because you need success at the international level for the national team to be successful, for people to show more interest, to highlight things in a certain way. So therefore, these things, yeah, are there. But are we doing it the right way? I doubt that. At this moment, um, you know, yeah, that's the challenge. To me, that's the challenge. Generating revenue needs more success, needs more eyeballs, needs broadcasters willing to pay for it, sponsors willing to come forward, and that's a vicious circle at the moment. Are North Korean players banned from competing all around the world leagues? They have some ballers in their team. I'm not sure, Mazir, to be very honest. We've had North Koreans in the past play in leagues. We even had someone in Germany. Uh, you know, I don't know. Same for Russia too, since we get those players for cheap. Who says for cheap? Still with everything, the Russian team will play more than any ISL team. So none of them will come, right? We've had Ivan Kaluzhny come. Ukrainian, of course, to Kerala Blasters at the time, and then he was there for a few months, and then he had a better contract. I don't know where, but he did have a better contract offer somewhere else, and then he came and he left. So, yeah, these are the realities of things. I feel like football should be given as a state responsibility rather than a central AIFF. You will see much better result if only 5 states come forward with proper planning. Not a problem. They could. Who says the AIFF doesn't allow that, right? Name me 5 states who can do that. I could name you Mizoram, and then it becomes tough for me to say that a state is really doing the right things to take football forward, and it's successful also. Because success doesn't come overnight. Success takes a time. Success needs work. Success needs dedication. Success doesn't come by saying, I will do it, right? Big states like Bengal, not doing well. Goa, not doing well. Kerala, yeah, is something, is a story in itself, you know. These are the 3 biggest states. Then we have Manipur, where the state association is a mess, but they still produce players left, right, and center. So it's on the clubs, the academies over there. Mizoram, I think, is the best example, but no one is producing Asian level players. So these are the realities of where we start. IF is the king of football development. Yeah, sure, exactly. And again, sarcasm is the only thing sometimes to really take it seriously. What if one of Sunil Chhetri or Bachchan Bhutia gives suggestion to FF grassroots football development from grassroots? Manikanan sounds nice, but what's the expertise of Sunil Chhetri and Bachchan Bhutia to be able to give that expertise? What is their expertise on that topic, right? They don't have it. Maybe you have more than them. Maybe someone else in the chat, maybe myself. I don't know, but that's the reality of things, right? So that's where I stuck. So therefore, not easy to be challenged in a big way. But it's there, right? It's there. It's a point of discussion. Our coaches are not up to the mark, especially grassroots. Yeah, not a problem. We've been speaking a lot about this in the last few weeks, months, even over a year. But nobody wants to accept that. Starting with the coaches, right? We need change. We need better education. We need better. I always say the 4 factors of changing for good. For me, yeah, that is something which needs to be worked on. Grassroots, youth football, coaching, and competitions. Otherwise, yeah, let's see. Ashish Nigam was not agree with the views of our lower division European clubs play better than Indian. Any thoughts? He doesn't need to agree with what I think. I know that. I do watch lower level European football week in, week out. He does not. Or none of you do. Right? I watch it live. So, yeah. He can have his opinion. I can have my opinion. And a lot of things, our opinions will meet. Certain opinions might not meet. And there are many ways of doing things. But in my opinion, our players are so bad at the moment that people are saying first, second tier. No, they're not. Right? That's the reality. If players who've played in Spain in the 5th or 6th tier and were not regulars over there can come in and play ISL, that shows where our standard at the moment is. Very, very low. I'm saying this sitting in Spain. Is it possible for more internationally friendly matches with higher ranked teams? In theory, yes. We don't have an under 19 now. We have an under 17, under 20. It used to be 16, under 16, under 19. We could, but again, we are dependent on the cycle of AFC competitions and then matches built around it, and that is not working in the system at the moment. It's a big problem that we're not having enough matches for our youth teams. The under 17s / under 16s, whatever it used to be, has had a lot of games over the years, but at under 20 level, yeah, we're not playing. By far, we're not playing enough games. So that's a reality which sadly persists at the moment. Considering German football, I see it same. Even fourth division, I see better quality player who might not be necessarily full-time footballers. Yeah, exactly, Roshan. That's my point, right? If we talk about the regional league, Regionalliga, we call it here, or rather in Germany, that's better, right? So again, those who see it regularly can have an opinion on it. Reliance Foundation should take full control from Indian football. Anupam, Reliance Foundation is just there for the development part. FSDL is the one which is the commercial arm of Reliance, and they can't take full control of it because the federation needs to be in charge of things. Do we have anyone in us who was not getting game time in 5th division in Spain or else in Europe and getting regular game time in ISL? Yeah, right through. Yes, they have been. I mean, that's the reality, right? That's where we are stuck at the moment. In my opinion, right? That's where we are. And we've had foreigners as well who've come in from the lower tiers, right? Who've come from Tercera, non-league football in England, who've come in and played, right? I see nobody considering a structure issue, instead selling fake vision. Yeah, Murali, good evening. That's something that we're facing a lot of times, and things are not changing for the better. I think that's the biggest worry. Thoughts regarding DD comments about first priority trophy than focus development. It's a shame. And the officials at the other two Kolkata Giants think the same. Because I know a lot of fans are saying, yeah, that should be the priority. Who cares about football development? That's the challenge. That is the challenge of trying to create a system which is sustainable, which you can grow, which you can a system which will do the things that are needed to be able to create the next or even the after generation of footballers. Can we say Thailand produce Asian level player? They have in the past, Murali. I'm not sure if they're producing ones at the moment. For that, I don't watch enough Thai football enough to be able to tell you that. They have better players than us, but yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you that if they're producing Asian level footballers or not. If we give more preference to our U17, U20 team, then maybe we can see the change. Manikaran, we gave a lot of preference to the under 17s as part of the preparation for the under 17 World Cup in 2017. Where's it taken us? Right? There wasn't a priority after that. The kids have to play at clubs. They're not getting enough game time. We had the Indian Arrows program, which, yeah. Yeah. Why do our football players look so weak physically? Do they not take proper nutrition? I don't think we look physically weak these days. I don't know how you see it, but yeah, I don't think that's our biggest issue. A long time ago, Mohun Bagan built Sale Academy in Durgapur with AIM 2018 World Cup. Now it's closed. So many players came through the academy. Yeah, Mohun Bagan didn't build it. Sale did it and then put the Mohun Bagan name on it. Let's put it this way. And did it produce that many players? I don't think so. Produced a few. I think Bashum was the most famous one of them all, but it didn't produce many players. AIFF Technical Committee must be more serious in selection of U17, U20 national team coach if we need a better senior team in 3 years. Yeah, but 3 years is a very short time. I think 3 years window is not going to be enough for us to be a better team. Do you think players who's good in youth level doesn't guarantee success in senior level all across the world? Yeah, part of the problem, development. To me, if we think that someone who's good at under 15, under 17 level, that he's going to go on to become a pro, that does not always happen. So we have to be honest on that front, that is a long way. Your thoughts about India versus Malaysia match? Can we see the victory finally this year? Manikan, I would hope we can win. We've spoken about it a few times today or in earlier lives to watch them as well. To me, the concern is that we're nowhere near where we want to be, where we need to be. We can surely win, but I don't know. Malaysia looks threatening and dangerous. So we'll have to wait and see what happens on Monday. Can we say Tata Academy produce good quality player compared to today's academies? Yeah. Tata Football Academy produce good quality, better quality players, I think. If we look at those kids came in at 13, 14 with no grassroots exposure at all. So that's also a reality, right? So I don't know. That is something which is there. Saying no audio. I can see at least, I don't know. Good evening, Gerard. Good to see you. So therefore, to me, TFA used to produce better players than the others, and that still exists. That's still a problem. That's still a challenge. That's where we need to work to. You heard what happened today at Mohun Bagan Club Tent. Army came and destroyed all the sponsor banners and new merchandise stall removable. Yes, I did. I've seen it. And the question is, did the club authorities tell the army about it? Because it's not the first time that the army's come in and done this. Is it right from the army to do it? No. I think there are other ways to do that. Yeah. So therefore, for me, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is the way you should handle these kind of things. So yeah, that's something that has been there. So I don't know. Did McLaren play in 22 FIFA World Cup? Oh. I'm not sure actually. I don't know if any one of you knows it. I don't think he was part of the World Cup squad. Joined very late today, was discussing things on match fixing, education, to level. Shrachi said we're building a new community at the same. Okay. Then ask him what he's done. Ask him what he's done. Do you think Miko is a freak of a player, especially long range shots? No, he's not a freak of a player. I don't know how you can use that term in connection with him. No, I wouldn't say that. Would not say that. Can a football club get land on lease from the government? If yes, then it's high time Mono Supervision to do that. They could. But Palash, we were discussing earlier with Blue, I was discussing it earlier here, that the reality is that Mohun Bagan, East Bengal, Mountain Sporting could have built their own facilities 3 decades back, and they didn't want to go. They still want to be in the Maidans, and they don't want to move. They don't want to spend on these kind of things, right? So it's ask the question to your officials. Don't ask the government for it. The government would have given land most probably for 1 rupee or whatever. Yeah. Did you take interview with Wizard? So many people say when we meet big stars, we can feel different vibe. No, I've never interviewed him, but yeah, I've interviewed a lot of people, but not him. No. Okay, trying to answer all your queries and questions. I don't know if you've got anything left for me or yeah. Do you think Anadin Ajray will get in Morocco team somehow? Is it that good? No, I don't think. Yeah. So, um, no, I don't think he's on that at that level. Again, he's scoring goals in the ISL, which is good for him, great for him. But the Moroccan league would be rated higher than the Indian league, so he's left that league to come here. And as part of match fixing education committee, don't know Geron Rare. You would have to ask him. Do you ever felt instead of taking on your football to your do you ever felt instead of taking on your football? No, I'm fine with that. If you ask me that way, we've never had an issue on that, and would have spoken about it, would have handled the matter in that way, and yeah, and then taken it somehow forward, I guess, in the conversation, right? 1 hour 26 minutes, heading towards the 90-minute mark. I don't know if you still want to talk, guys. Do like, share, and subscribe. As always, as I say, these sessions, talking about Indian football. 1941, so we've got 59 to go. Yeah, so let's see. So your thoughts on Australia last game? Given I didn't see it, so actually I can watch limited to no Asian qualifiers of the World Cup, so therefore difficult just to watch results and then talk about it. Now there's news that DD Sports might telecast I-League matches. Yeah, Panash heard it, saw it. We've discussed it also with Shrachi looking to be or seeming to be the streaming partner of the AIFF. Because they think this team is quite a different team. No. Do you have anyone in your history of working with Indian football who was a special talent, never fulfilled potential? Vimal Pariyar, Lalan Puya, even Lalidi Karalte to me could have done even better than he has done. Loads of players. Loads of players have had talent, but talent is, yeah. So let's wait and see. DD Sports in past done I-League telecast. That is true. I've done it quite a number of times, number of years that they've actually telecast the I-League in the past here and there. And that I think the telecast broadcasting topic regarding I-League is a big thing. That Sony has jumped off the ship, and the AIFF is trying to work out and deal with Shrachi. So therefore, that's an interesting scenario which is sort of evolving, developing at the moment, and nobody seems to be clear on what's actually sort of transpiring from that. Yeah, very interesting conversation. I-League and telecast became a joke in recent times. Can't speak about it in the last 2 years. If you speak about 21-22 season, I did a few games towards the end, enjoyed it actually, being an expert, but yeah, those are different times. I remember Rangjit's team who looked so cohesive, what was working for them and the downfall, your opinion. Jackie Chan and Satya Sen couldn't translate it anywhere. It's camaraderie, teamwork, I think, was something which worked for them. At Rangjit or Arhima. And downfall is very simple. There is no downfall. They still exist. They're still there. Report of Eka Gupta is that they're just not, the money investment wasn't there to be able to push for more. That's the reality. Are we good in defending area? Are we having problems across all areas? Defending is one of the problems. Is athletics famous in Germany? Yes, it is. Do you watch Raft Sports? No, I don't. No one knew this Shrachi app 2 days ago. Now they have it released nice and got AIFF deal. Yeah. You said Gothia Cup is not a big deal. Where will they get real challenge? Let's say Dallas Cup. There are other tournaments. It's not going to be easy for Malaysia this time. Let's see. You're on rare. Is Kuru the only player from the current batch getting games? Looks like it. Because Indian squad also looks good and Malaysia is like too much young. I feel it's a good chance for Indian team this time. Let's wait and see. Let's not get carried away because you think they've got a younger squad. We still have to perform, and we haven't done well in the last few games. And that challenge to me, you know, um, which is going to be a big, um, yeah, big one. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not, but it's there, and then yeah, that's something which is there. Brazil lost to Paraguay. Your thoughts? Happens. That's football, guys. That's something which is there, and it has happened. It is happening, and it will happen most probably that they will lose matches, and they've not been having a good campaign. That's a reality. All right, 1 hour and nearly 31 minutes gone. Will there ever be compulsion of having under 20 players in playing 11 in the academies or affiliates in India? We've had that in the past, under 21 sort of, but all these programs haven't really helped. You know, a player needs to be playing not because of a quota. A player needs to be playing because he's good, and that's not working in Indian football. Let's be honest about it. So that's a reality, and it's a tough reality. But I don't know. Do you think Suresh has good working rate compared to other midfielders? Yeah, Murali, I think he's one of the hardest working midfielders we have at the moment, right? That's it. Right, with that, I will end this live for today. Again, from my holiday, not holiday, actually, working holiday here in Mallorca. Not sure if I can come back tomorrow, but Sunday evening, late evening, I'll be back to preview our match against Malaysia on Monday. As I always say, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a like behind if you think it's good. Share it with other people and subscribe to it also if you think it is worth coming back for more. As I said, there was something that I did earlier today on the football video support system, FVS, and that is something which I find very interesting. It's a cheap alternative to VR, and let's see. Um, yeah, and I will try and avoid that Roshan. 100% sure on that. But thanks a lot for the hint, mate. And yeah, I know. I think that's a nice German joke to do. And I'll catch you very soon, guys. Good night.